everybody, Chris here. Is Dogecoin set up for a recovery? We're going to talk about that in this video. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when my new videos come out as well as when I do live streams. We've been watching Dogecoin's price over the weekend. It did drop down to about 13.2, and that was on Monday, Cyber Monday. Could that have been the bottom of this dip and we're going to go higher from here? Or is this the start of maybe a relief rally and we are in bear market? Doge is going to go lower. We're going to talk about all that. Let's get into it. Let me show you the charts and the news. I'll show you what I'm looking at. And we start here with the current Dogecoin price at 13.7. That's right, 13.7 is where we are on December 2nd here, Tuesday morning, recovering from 13.2, which was the dip we saw yesterday morning after the fall from 15 cents that we had here on Sunday and that overnight dip, flushing out leverage longs. Mostly, again, this is from Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now at 87.2. And so Bitcoin over the 4-day weekend from Thanksgiving to Sunday was holding steady up here at $91,000. And I had drawn a red box to see if we were going to continue grinding sideways. But no, the market makers, exchanges took over, dumped the Bitcoin price, taking out hundreds of millions of dollars of leveraged longs. It looked like Monday ended up at almost $1 billion of leverage wiped out. That's between Sunday night and Monday morning. Again, the market makers and exchanges stay in control of the market. This is a recovery of some type, but is this a relief rally yet? That remains to be seen. Again, my thesis here after the big drawdown for Bitcoin is that we would see some kind of relief rally up to 100K, maybe looking at the, retesting the 50-week moving average. Again, we go to the weekly chart and we see where that is. That's this blue line up here, that we would touch that 50-week moving average. Right now, that is drifting downward a bit, may end up being more like 101 than 102. And that would be the fake out. And then we would go lower into deep bear. That's my thesis where I am right now, looking at the history, looking at the charts and the upcoming news. Are we going to get something huge that happens again with Bitcoin? Right now, everything seems to be pretty negative. There's all these little things like quantitative easing we'll talk about, the new Fed chair, right? That's not till May. That's not going to happen. There was this big thing last night. Chair Powell is going to give a speech and he's going to resign. No, that was stupid, right? And I posted that on Tom Crown's live stream. He was live Monday night, right? This big Powell speech. It ended up just being this talk about Schultz, and it was just like, it was nothing. It was big nothing burger, right? And so I typed in the chat like all of this stuff about these other crypto Twitter folks saying like, oh, volatility, big thing, right? And even Tom, posted on X, and just like, you guys are idiots if you were talking about like Powell doing this resignation thing. So again, and big nothing burger. And so here we are. This is still the thesis. And of course, with Doge as well, we have the same kind of thesis of a relief rally. Now I'm not thinking it's even going to get to 21 cents because of the drop all the way down here into the 13s. But we still have some kind of hope here of a big green move, which would be X money. Elon and X money making a Doge statement. That is still always a possibility. So I keep that here for that. But overall, that is not the thesis. What do we have here? We've got CZ saying, what does this mean? QE time? Right? The Federal Reserve has officially ended quantitative tightening, right? But the overall economy is just not ready yet. And so ending quantitative tightening, that's one thing, right? But quantitative easing, and that transition takes months, so that's not going to be till 2026, not happening anytime soon. And does that really help crypto? I mean, that's the thing, right? So the sentiment again is negative. Bitcoin is trying to get back to fear from extreme fear. Doge is in fear. We look at the fear and greed indices every once in a while, usually during live streams. Next one will be Tuesday. So make sure that you're subscribed, you got your notifications on, all of that, so you can join in on lives, ask me questions, what's on your mind. I engage with everybody in the chat, even the trolls, for a little bit, at least until you piss me off too much, but at least I give you a chance, right, to ask the question. So come in and join the lives. But what's going on now, right? Bitcoin. Well, Trader Alan is changing the lines again, right? This used to be the 50-week moving average, right? And then it was the 100-week moving average. And now what is it? It's the 150-week weighted, the weighted moving average. And what the heck is that? It's just another line on a chart. It doesn't mean anything. That's not some critical support line. The 150 WM, what is that? Nobody uses that. I'm trying to keep it real here, guys. I'm just showing you what some of these people look at. And it's just like, oh my God. Altcoin Sherpa's like, look, do we believe this is a real breakout? And he even says that, dubious myself, right? He even says that, dubious myself, that this is a bit of a recovery for Bitcoin. And you look at different lines, like that was the start of recovery, dropped, right? We had a little bit higher, dropped, not a little bit higher. Again, taking out some shorts, good, right? There's a ton more. There's hundreds of millions of dollars of shorts if it goes on a big run. But right now, there is not the sentiment needed for Bitcoin to go on a big like short squeeze. It's just not there. And I'm a bit dubious myself of that. Merlin the Trader says, look, exchanges are seeing more Bitcoin outflows than inflows, the classic signature of a tightening market. When liquidity drains from order books, upside stays muted. So that's what he's looking at. It's like, the Binance hot wallets, right? 56.4 outflow, 49.6 inflow. That's big. That is big. Almost $1 billion more on the outflow than the inflow for just Binance alone. So just looking at the wallets and seeing the whales aren't coming in to buy. So that's where we are. We have these stupid grok things. Get that out of here. Even Crypto Rover, right, who is a perma bull. This guy, right, this guy makes a ton of money posting all of these bullish charts again and again and again. And guess what he looks at? Bitcoin's bearish monthly crossover is now confirmed. So even Crypto Rover shows a chart that shows a bearish crossover, right? The MACD crossing over into the red here on the monthly. So, but yet he'll still post all these bullish things because it gets more clicks than the the bullish charts get more clicks than the bearish ones. So he'll continue, right, to show all these bullish things, even though he just showed this big bearish crossover chart. That's the way it goes, right? And look, even this one, trending Bitcoin says, this chart predicts Bitcoin is going to bottom at 25K sometime in 2026. Now, I don't believe that, right? But cycle top 2025, we had it. It was October. It was October 5th or 6th when Bitcoin hit 126,200, according to this chart. Bitcoin is not going back up there. Bearish crossover. And how low does it go? What's the drawdown going to be from 81% to 75% to 65%? Again, there's no confirmation that that line is anything, but it is a target that he's showing, and we're starting to see more and more of these kinds of bearish charts now. So that's where we are. Now here's Bitcoin Census talking about ETH, right? It's like left shoulder, head. Are we going to make a right shoulder? And does that lead to a big run in 2026 for ETH? I mean, Tom Lee's talking about this, but that's because he's a giant bag holder now of ETH, and his company is bleeding millions of dollars because the ETH price is going down. And there's no right shoulder. Now, will we get a little bit of a relief rally? And again, all the things going to be, oh, bull run, right? Big recovery, 2026, extended cycle, all of that. I'm not counting on that right now. The indicators aren't there. But Dogecoin price stabilizes after the Cyber Monday crash, right? Went down to 13.2. So we've stabilized a bit in the mid-13s. So as we stabilize above 13 cents, selling pressure eases. Indicators signal cautious momentum despite improving inflows for Dogecoin, the analysis reveals what is needed for an extended recovery. And again, these little economic indicators that are happening aren't going to cause a huge recovery. So modest, yes. And we will see, again, the charts are negative, right? That's what we have. But the rebound remains weak because there isn't anything right now happening in crypto for some giant momentum. You can look at all the fib lines you want, right? The 0.236 fib level at 17 cents, that doesn't mean anything, right? I'm just keeping it real, guys. It doesn't mean anything. Dogecoin wicks below key support, right? We went from 13.5 down to 13.2. Is it a fake out or start of a larger correction, this little bit of a recovery? I mean, it's a start, right? Now we're at 13.7, right? That's better. But again, who's in control of the market? It's not the buyers. It's not the sellers. It is the exchanges and the market makers still with crypto. And that's what keeps crypto from, all of these great things that crypto still does. Like I said in yesterday's live stream, Bitcoin is still the same Bitcoin it was 10 years ago. Doge is still the same Dogecoin as it was 10 years ago. It just has these price fluctuations that are totally controlled. Trader Allen continues, says, look, the Doge monthly is a macro pattern. And he sees a similar pattern that we saw back in 2016 to 2025. Now, if you believe in the 4-year cycles, you're like, well, no, we just had this bull run that happened, began a year ago for Dogecoin, again, because of events that happened, not because of any lines on a chart or cycles, right? It happened because Trump won the presidency a year ago, Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency and Doge and all of that, right? Was exciting for Doge. Doge went up to 48 cents. Did another rally here at the end of the summer, back up to 30 cents. But in 2016, those moves were in a bear market. There were a couple things that happened with Doge to get Doge to make that first little spike here in 2016, but went into a deep bear all the way through 2016 before finally rocketing up. Trader Allen's missing that. He's missing that part of the fractal there where it goes month after month after month, sideways and down, and he didn't include that. So I don't think that's happening. Unless we have Elon and X money. Doge is going through the longest accumulation phase since its inception. Longest accumulation phase. You could say that, but I mean that does help Dogecoin. In fact, that Dogecoin isn't going to go back down to a penny, right, or 2 pennies. And we still look at Dogecoin as, the number 9 cryptocurrency, right? So the 9th largest cryptocurrency still. Holding strong. It has enough support to keep it from totally dropping. And there's a lot of bears and trolls that come out, 2-cent Doge, guaranteed, whatever. So that does help Doge. But this thought about like this giant big move up over 33, 35 cents, there's only one thing that's going to save that right now, in my opinion. We look at X Money and we look at their page on X. It still says it's going to launch in 2025. We're here in December now. It's like, come on, Elon, come on, X team, let's get that going, because I still think that can help Dogecoin's price, but nothing else is going to get this movement back up to 30 cents. And what else is going on? Remember ZEC, right? Remember Zcash, right? It's, privacy coins, right? Privacy coins, right? And this huge run up over $700. And then it made a second run up. And all of this buying that was happening. And what did I say when it was 700 again? I was like, don't be buying this. I won't be buying this. And look at it now. It just, not only did it drop all the way down into the 400s, but then did another 33% drop all the way down to the low 300s now. As Monero goes down too, like all of these things, right? It's just, this is all bear market stuff. Anything that goes on a big run now is not going to support higher prices, and it's going to fade back down. And unfortunately, that's where we are right now in the cycle. So be very careful with what you're chasing, especially after something already goes on a huge, like 10x run. Be careful buying up there. You're chasing something where the fall down will be big. So that's where we are right now. There are some people buying the dip right now in Doge. I get it, in the low 13s. Definitely that was the good price overall in terms of looking at Dogecoin and sort of the micro scale, but the macro scale I think is still bullish. But we always have the wild card out there with Elon. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about this recovery? Are we actually recovering here? Or are we just holding on, seeing what happens? Give the video a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.